So folks, as I said, we do have 2 open bid wars. Get those donations in to both fight the Black Knight and name the strongest forge weapon. But in order to do that, we need a Fire Emblem run. So why don't we hand things off to AKDylie, who is going to be showing us Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
Hey everyone, I'm Dylie. I've run a few things at RPG Limit Break, including Golden Sun last year. There was some other game I ran, I don't really remember what that was, but it's not important. I'm here to run Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. PX, or Alec, Gus, introduce yourselves.
So we fight for who gets to introduce themselves first. Anyway, I'm Alec K47. I have been a fan of Fire Emblem games for quite a while. This was my first one, and always has a fond spot in my heart, as that tends to follow.
And then I'm Gus. I'm also a pretty big Fire Emblem fan.
I'm PX. I pretty much played all of them since this game as well. And I also have this board to keep track of useless stats for us.
All right. Time's going to start when I clear this menu, and it begins the prologue. So count down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, good luck, man.
Good luck.
Good luck. So yeah, you saw their easy mode, that's just faster. There are runs for the higher difficulties, but they are not reliable. Doing a little bit of stuff here to get quicker tech speed and things like that. And you saw fixed growths. That means it is not completely random what stats go up when. That is also very big for reliability in this run. You can do a run with random growths, but expect it to die more often than not. And so fixed growths, basically you gain stats based on what you kill with a unit and what weapon you use. The system isn't necessarily fully understood, at least not by us, but it doesn't really matter. It works the way we know it works, and so we can anticipate what stats each character is going to have as they level up. Just a little tutorial here. Ike doing a training battle against his father. You do have to win this, even so, but...
Yeah, you kind of game over on the first chapter.
Yeah, it's important to use your healing item that they give you, otherwise you are immediately punished. So they teach you how to use a healing item. So we get our first level, and our first chapter is out of the way.
So in Chapter 2, we're going to be introduced to 3 new units. You have Boyd, the axe user. He's useful in a couple chapters, particularly the ones where there aren't that many fighters. You have Oscar, who is mostly used for carrying people like Ike around. And you have Titania. Titania is awesome. She's good in casual. She's great in a speed run. And yes, we stand.
Yeah, I'm using her to launch Ike forward here to allow him to seize the gate on turn 2. That is the win condition here. First, Oscar's going to pick up a Seraph Robe. Nice little HP boost item for later. And then Titania just carries, decimates the boss in 1 round.
Yeah, she is the quote-unquote Jagan character, the strong pre-promote that you get at the beginning, who, quote-unquote, according to some people, just siphons XP away from all the other people on your team, but is very useful. You also saw Ike not have a weapon equipped there. That is going to be a very common technique because it avoids the animations. Even though we have the big, long combat animations off, there are smaller animations on the field like you see here. So the fewer of those...
Useful crit.
Yes. The fewer of those that happen in general, the better. There are some weird edge cases where other things can be slower, but those generally involve skills.
Another big thing is there's not many useful glitches in the game, but there's one really big one called the fast enemy phase glitch that he's pretty much been constantly doing there. By holding down the B button, it makes your cursor move a lot faster on the world map. And if you do that while moving it, and you open the menu and turn, it transfers that to the enemy phase too, so they move a lot faster. That saves a lot of time over the run.
Yeah, basically just makes them move faster, and because enemies moving happens a lot, That's pretty important, especially in some chapters where you have a ton of enemies.
Yeah. Fortunately and unfortunately, this is before before the series speedruns becomes black screen speedrun, where you skip enemy phase altogether.
I prefer it this way overall, but there are a few chapters, particularly in Radiant Dawn, that do kind of make me question that preference.
So Titania was not available at the start of the chapter, so Ike and Oscar kind of had to hold their own for the army, but she showed up a few turns later. Now she's just going to clean up the map.
Yeah, and you saw a map swap there. Sometimes it's faster based on unit positioning and unit order to switch that way instead of scrolling through the map or pressing the switch
X,
button a few times.
The X button will switch to the next character in the unit order. If you're on a you're not selected on one of your units, it will default to whoever's on top of your order, which is Ike, always. But since Titania joins pretty much after everybody else, she's at the bottom of the unit order, so opening up the unit list and then scrolling to her is faster than just everything else. But for the most part, unit positioning on your order list is going to be important just for fast movement overall.
Now we're introduced to Shinan and Gatry. They have limited use, even in this chapter. But the basic idea is there's some reinforcements that Titania is in the place to trigger right now, but she has Kanto, and so she is able to move if you want. But in this case, we actually want those enemies to spawn. We want to get up to Marcia there, or Marcia, whichever you prefer. I don't even care.
No.
Because she is going to be the hard carry for the vast majority of the run. She's a flyer, she is fast, she has a lower strength gap, but because we're going to power level her so early, it's not going to matter. She's going to be useful until the penultimate chapter.
Even then, she'll still be carrying Ike around, so her role is basically from chapter 9 onwards, have something to do with, chapter 11 onwards.
Yeah, but you have to talk to her, and then you...
First of all, she has to live.
Yeah.
She has to live, first of all.
She can die here. She can also get crits here, because she's using the Slim Lance, so... What we'd like to see is to have her dodge whatever she can, because if she gets hit enough, she'll heal herself, and healing is just kind of slow.
Yep, gotta sit through the animation.
And a lot of times she'll move out of the way when that happens as well, and you might have to take an extra turn to get to her.
She really wants to just take all these hits.
Yeah, pretty typical, though.
I've seen worse.
Oh, she's not healing.
No, she won't heal until below that amount, but it is what it is. She should be fine, I think.
So thankfully, the goal of this chapter is just to kill the boss, so pretty much ignore most of these enemies. Just blitz through.
Yeah, there's a little bit of manipulation using Shinan's skill provoke, but otherwise not too much, really.
Yeah, they're going to try to chase down Ike and Shinan, and then Gatry just moved out of the way, so they won't go for him. So none of the enemies are going to be able to do much, because Shinan was in the back, but he has higher movement range. Ike was in the front, so no one gets to fight there. There's the Vulnerate. 5-second time loss about. So we'll go recruit Marcia for later. Gatry pick up this elixir from the pub here. And then finish off the chapter by whacking the boss.
So I know.
Oh, that's a wasted turn.
Yeah, it's a big time loss, but we'll just eat it rather than reset the chapter. It's not going to
What was that, an
difference.
80-ish hit rate?
It would have been, 80-something, I believe.
So do we start talking about the double RN system now?
Yeah, so this game, for a lot of calculations, particularly the ones with hits and misses, uses a 2 RN system. So instead of getting like a flat probability, you get a bell curve. Where things kind of...
Counter.
Yay! Should we add that to there?
Yeah, so that's her skill. It activates on half of skill percent, so it's only about like... it's under 10% right now. And it pretty much only takes...
There's a useless crit.
Useless crit.
Yeah, pretty much only costs time when it activates, but it's very likely that it's going to cost more time to remove it than it is to lose time because of it proccing.
I got a good item for Ike, the Regal Sword. So for this chapter, I'm going to go check this soldier first. He's got low biorhythm, so it should be fine to do the aggressive strat here.
Yeah, biorhythm is another thing that factors in. Basically, you have high or low biorhythm, and every character has a slightly unique biorhythm curve. And basically what it does is it adds or removes to your ability to hit attacks and dodge enemy attacks. Right here, we're sending Shannon way in there just because there are some enemies that have 1 to 2 range, and so he's good at taking them out. They're going to circle around him, and then they're going to start attacking Titania because of his skill. But yeah, you have the 2 RN systems, so if you're above 50%, that's where you want to be. If you're below, everything regresses to the mean a little bit at 50, but particularly at the 25 and 75% ranges, because that's the way the curve works. So if it's above 50, it's slightly more likely than it shows, and if it's below 50, then it's slightly less likely than it shows.
Something did not go right here.
This is mostly to the benefit of the player itself because you usually have high hit rates.
Yeah, and crit calculations is just a single RN check after hit is calculated and confirmed.
So you might have saw I brought up a menu there. I am playing on Switch 2. This recently was released on Nintendo Switch Online. So that's what that was. Biorhythm check. It's still low. I think the mistake I made is I did not unequip Ike's weapon, so the enemies gathered a little bit of an unexpected way there. Surrounded Titanian, and that was just not what I wanted at all.
Here you're seeing one of the best mechanics, and they introduced in this game, the shove mechanic, which just allows you to push a unit that it's either weighs less than you or is relatively close to your weight, 1 tile forward. And this allows so much more tactical ability. Just a lot more options.
You're going to be seeing a fair amount of shove shenanigans over the course of this run.
So yeah, if that soldier that I checked had high biorhythm, he would go for Soren instead for whatever reason, and then if Soren died, it wouldn't be the end of the run, but it would mess up a lot of menus later. So I'd rather just not memorize 2 sets of menus.
On top of that, if you saw their equips, they have things called bands. This is exclusively a New Game Plus feature that you get after beating the game once, and they just help your growth slightly based on what you have equipped, and they're given to the people who start with their class, but we're mostly going to use them for money afterwards. There's a few of them are useful for extra stack growths, but
and for weapon forging.
Yeah, but it's mostly for money.
So this is like unusual to have you're given an archer unit who is basically like your second tankiest unit here. So Sheenan's able to fend off like dozens of units here without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, surely he'll be useful for the entire game, right?
Yeah, at least 1 more chapter, right?
Yeah, at least 1 more.
So he pulls over the boss. He could get the kill here if he got double crit. He got neither. 1 would be nice to save time.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the double crit.
So this time Titania was not blocked by and surrounded by other units, so she can go finish off the boss. And that is another defeat boss chapter, so this chapter is now over.
Hey.
All right.
This one's also usually one of the more rougher chapters casually, just because there's so many enemies. They can easily surround your weak units.
Especially if you're like actually trying to actively level them up in that chapter. And on higher difficulties.
This is a fun chapter. This is the Fen map, so you need to hold the point for 6 turns here. And the strategy is pretty good here.
Yeah, so there are 2 things that factor into getting these chapters fast. One of them is minimizing the amount of fighting you do, and if you do fight, making it count for something. And so in a lot of cases, we're going to do manipulation with the enemies so that nobody can attack on a given turn. And that's where some of these attacks and defends and removing weapons and positioning comes into play. So you see that Reese there is right behind Gatry. That's going to be important because enemies like to prioritize squishier units that you have, and he is the squish.
But Shinan's got the provoke skill, so they like him even better because he's not holding a weapon.
He's also saying these things that we probably can't see on stream here.
Yeah, so there's one archer and there's two archers. They can't attack anyone that they're right next to in melee, and they're going to be surrounded pretty soon by enemies that only have one. And since Shinan doesn't have his weapon equipped, they're just going to attack him there.
Yeah, we're waiting until that soldier just closed the loop there, and then I'll just move Shinan out of the way, and the archers aren't going to figure out how to back up.
Yeah, so the archers look, now they can't attack anybody. They're going to not do anything. Everyone else is like, we can't attack them either. I guess we not going to do anything. So we're just going to have the enemies block themselves.
And all we have to do is end turn and then wait for them to move. Rinse and repeat. Now is a good time for you to hop in, Alara, by the way.
Perfect. I did want to ask one curiosity question as someone who really loves this franchise. Is this another one of those Fire Emblem speedruns where the flying units just take over the game after a while?
Very much, yes.
Yeah.
Marcia will do that.
Sounds good.
We have a boss quote here, I think, in just a second. How have they lasted that long? Just who are these mercenaries? We have to retreat.
We can do this all day.
All right, and I do have a quick message for you, Dylie. We had $35 from Cabs, who says, very excited to see you here, AKDylie. Good luck with the run.
Thanks, Gabs.
So this is just an escape map. Ike needs to make it to the end. You get some bonus XP for other characters making it to the end, but it's not worth the time. So we're just going to keep them in the forest, and Titania is going to kind of sneak up through here a little bit and make her way to the end where she's going to drop Ike. She'll defeat the boss.
Nice, use this crit.
And that's the map.
Yeah, so this chapter starts off with a small sneak section where as long as you're hidden in the trees, the enemies just won't do anything. So take advantage of that as long as possible. You go as far forward.
Yeah, and it gives you like a little bit of extra flexibility, but I've never found it that it makes a big difference because ultimately everything's just going to collapse in on you. But yeah, only Ike needs to escape, and it doesn't matter if we leave anybody else behind. There are other Fire Emblem games where that is a thing, but this game, there's like, we'll have the escape mechanic, but it doesn't really matter.
This is not the Racia.
Yeah.
No, nobody left behind here.
And for the most part, fortunately, though, people do speedrun Thracia.
That game is a ball of ideas that some of them should not see the light of day.
But I guess props for trying.
It's an interesting game. I might try it one day.
So not all of these enemies are going to move. So Titania is just going to go down there, whack the boss, and then Ike's going to escape. And that's it. You can see here, there's just enough damage to...
Remember, action speed lances.
Yeah, the weapon triangle is a thing. So you get a little bit of extra damage and hit if you are on the beneficial side of the weapon triangle. It's even if they're the same type of weapon, and if you're on the losing side, you lose a little bit of hit and are more likely to get hit, and the same damage thing applies. So you would deal less damage and they would deal more. Only by one, but it's there and it can matter. That said, if you just are strong enough, weapon triangle doesn't matter that much. And so because the speedrun tends to try to be efficient and raise as few characters as possible, it doesn't really matter that much. But
speaking of like not having that much combat, so this chapter has had some route changes in the last couple of years. So we're going to fight even fewer enemies than we used to when playing this game. Kirby Masta ran this game at RPG Only Break, I want to say, like 7 years ago, and the route has come quite a long way since then, so I'm happy to show off a lot of that stuff today.
yeah, this is one of the bigger chapters for that. Another thing that I'll explain in a little bit is forging, because there's a big difference there. You kind of hope that Mia gets a crit there, but...
she tries her best.
She has really low strength and is not reliable enough to use. even if she wasn't a sword lock, which is a pretty big negative here. Like you see Titania there using a javelin type weapon. So that is 1 to 2 range. She can attack enemies that are right next to her or 1 space away, which is really important for a lot of fighting in pretty much every Fire Emblem.
Hey, she gets a wind sword, like, eventually, right?
Mia,
Give her 10 Fs, yeah.
Mia doesn't get the magic to use it well, though, either.
I don't know. Have you seen my playthrough? Everyone's gaining magic in my playthrough.
Yeah, but one of the interesting things here is, like, there are reinforcement zones, and the big one brings out the boss of this map, as well as Shinan Gatri and a few other enemies that you would need to kill. But with a little bit of manipulation, you can keep them from showing up and still complete all objectives and clear this map before they even show up.
Yeah, normally Titania just goes over to the left-hand side and cleans up everything, but it used to be more aggressive to pull in the reinforcements just so that we could get out of the way quickly, but now since we can avoid them, we'll save like over a minute time compared to how it used to be done.
Generally, just more enemies are slower, and especially having to move Shinan and Gatri is a lot slower, because Gatri is an armor knight and really slow animations.
As you can see there. Titania, too.
Yeah, but we forgive her.
Yeah, she's able to one-round these guys without any real training, so that's kind of important.
She's arguably the best character, like, overall between Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn combined.
I'd agree. She's really strong in Radiant Dawn too. Shout out to that like 1 strength fighter, by the way.
Yeah, that's what's
Cannot hold his own weapon. That's amazing.
at least on easy. Yeah, now Ike's gonna kill this guy.
Yeah, easy mode in this game is sometimes harder than normal mode. Because of the way they made it. It's really weird.
So over by Titania, if you see that spearman in the doorway there, that tile is the first of the reinforcement tiles. So if you go into that tile, then they will appear, which we do not want. But instead, we're going to let some of these enemies come to us. Titania is going to take care of.
Nice, useful.
Useful crit. That saves a couple of animations. You love to see it. But she's going to take care of them, and you see that Oscar is carrying Ike. Oscar is about to give Ike to Titania. And then the shenanigans that I was mentioning earlier are going to happen on the next turn. So right now, Titania kills this soldier and does not go up into the reinforcement zone. But we need to get up there with someone in order to get to that spearman you see in the top left. So right now, this thief is going to run over here.
He really wants those treasure chests.
Mm-hmm. And so Ike gets dropped in there. It's important that he did not end his turn there. His turn was by default over from the beginning. He did not use the wait command or the attack command. Then Titania finishes off this thief. Boyd is going to go up there and get an item.
He's going to shove Ike.
Shove Ike, yeah, that's right. There are some chests that we get later on. And Ike is going to kill this guy.
Doesn't matter that we didn't get him now because it'll finish him on enemy phase, and it's only at the end of enemy phase that reinforcements would appear. But that's the final enemy, so the chapter is over and skipping a minute's worth of reinforcements.
Even the boss doesn't show up.
Yep. Some plot happens. Some dastardly figure called the Black Knight appears, and
Oh no, what'd he do?
Who?
he hurts somebody badly. Maybe someone important.
Yeah, let's be honest here. You're a Fire Emblem protagonist. You're not gonna have parents.
No.
Can I jump in to remind some folks about something then?
Sure.
This sounds like we might want revenge on the Black Knight, so perhaps we can do that by trying to fight the Black Knight, which is still an open incentive, and we're getting some love for that, so let's keep that going.
So Ike's getting the Knight band here for growths.
We're going to forge our first weapon here. It's going to be a hand axe for Titania.
So yeah, the Black Knight fight's gonna be interesting because it's always known as the really difficult fight. especially in casual playthroughs. There are a few ways of beating it. But you want to do some fun with your donations. You can always try to donate and guess how much that copy of Fire Emblem Path to Radiance costed me to donate for this marathon, while also trying to win that copy.
Yeah, so right now we're leveling Ike up with bonus experience. That is a mechanic unique to the Tellius games.
Just making sure I equip that band there.
Yep. So this is just a way to catch units up without having to spend too much time. And so it's much quicker to level Ike up and later Marcia up with this mechanic instead. You gain a bonus experience by finishing maps quickly and doing certain objectives, and quite a few of them. The particulars don't matter that much, though we are going to try to fulfill some of those.
Yeah, we get a few big bonuses for doing certain chapters, and like I don't know if like flawless would be the right term, but like just like there's a preferred way to do it that gets you a ton of extra bonus experience.
Generally, the more pacifist you are, the better.
Yeah. And less turns is also more bonus experience.
Yeah.
So that's just intuitive to the speedrun, just to do it faster.
To a point, like there's a max value, and then after, depending on the map, a certain number of turns, then you will start losing it, depending on how many more turns you take. But yeah, then there's also the Forge system, which on the Japanese version you can take weapons without a divisible by 3 crit multiplier and lower it below 0, giving you 255 crit, which is kind of awesome and a big part of the Japanese version's speedrun. But we don't have it here. That's okay. We can work around it. We still add crit because crits can save time and we have the money. Right here, Titania is taking care of a couple of these guys, and now we have this longbowman here going to shoot Void. And if you remember the last Defend chapter, you can probably guess what's going to happen there. And then some other enemies are coming over this way. You can see Soren's blocking things valiantly, even though he is the squish. Ike is taking out these guys partly for experience, using the Regal Sword. The Regal Sword is effective against cavalry and armor knights, and that means its might is doubled. So the sword's strength counts twice when you're doing the damage calculation. And that is very useful. It's also useful that it is only 2 times, because a lot of Fire Emblem games have a 3 times multiplier with effective damage. But in this case, it will be important with Marcia being able to survive blows before we get the full guard.
2 crits.
Very nice. Yeah, so leveling up Ike was in part to just let him take this south flank entirely on his own. He can get roughed up quite a bit here. Looks like he'll be fine today, but sometimes you have to heal him.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who have played Fire Emblem Engage, this map may look familiar. Fortunately, Ike's not going to smash the entire structure by himself. That was really interesting seeing that.
So an archer came over to shoot Soren, I believe, or he's about to. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, Soren's main job in this run is being a decoy, and he does it twice, and he did a good job.
Unfortunately, Ileana will stay hungry.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of recruits that we skip just because it's faster not to recruit them.
Yeah, you usually get to go out of your way to recruit Ileana here because there's a lot of enemies in that choke point.
And is there a possibility for doing like an all recruits run? Absolutely. But no one's done it.
So some reinforcements show up down below here, and they'll poke Ike a little bit, so he unequipped his weapon, just so because he doesn't have to fight back. He just needs to stop them from taking the point.
Mm-hmm. Those cavalry, though, are really dangerous because they can attack and then move out away for more people to attack.
Yeah,
So you want to eliminate them.
that's why the Regal Sword is so good here.
And now I can only be attacked by one person, so it's just enemies moving around pretty much, and this. You're hoping he's going to dodge, but like...
At this point, he can't die. We're going to hit the goal here, surviving one more turn.
There's the boss.
And this time, the enemy's not going to do a strategic retreat. They're going to get overwhelmed by certain reinforcements for the players this time in a cutscene. So chapter 8 is over, and now we're on to chapter 9.
would this be a good time to chime in?
Go ahead.
We have a couple things to talk about that probably would be good to get a start on right now. So this chapter, you see those 2 units that are in yellow. Those are guest units right now, and we don't really want them to do anything, so Ike is going to order them to just halt, and they're going to sit there. We also want Ike to wait somewhat near the start because Marcia is going to come in as a green unit and fly to Ike to get recruited. And she moves a lot faster than Ike, so we put Ike basically where she can get to him on first turn, and at least the first turn that she shows up.
She takes a while to get here. It's like 4 turns in.
And yeah, so Ike is going to be talked to by Marcia, and then Marcia's immediately going to pick him up.
Yep. But yeah, for the next few turns, not a whole lot's going to be happening. So yeah,
Now's a good time. Yeah.
Go for it, Alara.
Perfect. We did get 2 donations in from Valindra, the first one being for $50. And we hear, I woke up extra early to watch our runner unalive some Black Knight booty. Let's go. We also had another $50 donation from Valindra who says, AKDylie, I am so happy to be watching one of my favorite games at Limit Break. Thank you for the run. Let's go get some revenge for the Grill Mercenaries.
Thank you.
And there are some other objectives here, but the main thing, because we don't actually care about stopping the pirates that are rampaging to the north, is that there is a reinforcement zone here, so we're once again going to wait until the proper time to trigger those reinforcements. Titania, as usual, is going to take out the boss because she's the only one strong enough to do it easily. There are going to be a few other enemies around there who will get to attack. There is a chance of failure, but it's low.
Yeah, I mean, Marcia's here.
I don't even know if he can fail anymore because we don't fight the boss in melee, so he can't use his effective weapon on Titania.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, Marcia arrives, she says hi to Ike and picks him up and starts gonna take him to the point.
It's so nice when units just walk up and just recruit themselves into your party.
Yep. So yeah, this chapter used to do the similar thing to Chapter 7 where it just triggered the reinforcements like early on so we could just get them out of the way, but now we have a way to avoid most of them entirely. It's not going to be quite the same as Chapter 7, where we're just waiting for Ike and Ike to be ready here. We're going to... Controller, please. Over here.
Yeah, stopping those pirates from taking out all the houses is kind of annoying because it's sand, and sand reduces movement of not units.
Also, it's coarse and it gets everywhere, obligatorily.
Yeah, of course.
Crit would be really nice there because we're going to see this little heal animation at the start of the turn because he's sitting on the point. And Marcia gets shot. Bows do bonus damage to flying units, but again, only double effectiveness in this game, so she's fine.
There's her crit.
Unnecessary, but it's a crit.
Always seems to be the case.
Yeah, we're currently tied 5-5 right now.
All right. Yeah, my plan is to donate $1 to Nami for every crit enemy or player that happens this playthrough. So let's get some good luck.
So yeah, thankfully there's not many cases of same turn reinforcements in the game, and this thankfully isn't one of those. So just wait for get that guy out of the way and then run into the point. Oh, another one of the big differences between the English and Japanese version is that as soon as you get access to the base in the English version, they also give you more money than the Japanese version. So that's how he was able to afford that first forge as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trade-off. So we make more forges in this run, but they aren't necessarily as effective, at least the ones at 1-2 range, because they don't have 255 crit.
So there he's putting Leth and Mordecai into the party and then unremoving them just to change up the order list for future menuing.
Field fascinating phase there, weird.
And here's another stealth mission.
And more characters to recruit that we don't actually need.
They look cozy in there.
Like, any fans of Nephany here?
I do like Nephany, yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm trying.
We're going to run by her.
Yep. Poor girl.
Thankfully, the only condition to recruiting them in this chapter is just opening the door, unless you're playing on hard mode. but that's also going to take time to open the door. So, and the way the stealth section works is as long as you never end your turn within enemy range, you will never get caught. So we're just going to be sneaking around like that.
And sometimes it just skip turn to get their cycle lined up a little bit better. Now we found a little bit of a gap in their patrol, and we're just taking advantage of that.
And it's a massive bonus experience, BXP bonus for not getting caught ever.
Yeah, if you fail the stealth, then a whole bunch of reinforcements appear from the entrance and the exit, and it's quite a pain to deal with.
Thankfully, the boss, for some reason, doesn't count for the stealth. So you can just run up and bop them if you want to.
Yeah, but that's chapter 10. And definitely have Volk stay in the party. So now chapter 11. We're going to have a big pool of bonus experience coming up.
Yeah, so this is a good time for you to say something because we're going to be power leveling Marcia a lot.
Yeah, she's going to go jump, 20 levels or so? Marcia?
She's at level 5 right now, and so we're going to get her up to promotion.
All right. Well, we did get $30 from Sylvia S7, who says, I love RPG Limit Break. Thanks to everyone who participates, the hosts, the runners, the commentators, the tech team, in-person attendees, Twitch chat, and donors. I agree. Thank you so much, everyone, including you, Sylvia. You are fantastic. We also had a few donations come in from Fail Lynn, who I don't know how they got here from Fire Emblem 7, but, thank you for those $55. We also had $30 come in from an anonymous donor. Thank you so much. And then we had another $30 come in from Prof Nex. Thank you so much for those. Neither of those last two had any comments attached to them. And I would like to remind folks, we are still raising money for that Fight the Black Knight incentive. It's still going on. We can also still name the strongest weapon we're forging. So both of those are still open.
Yep, it'll be the Silver Lance later on.
There we go. So if you want to help name the Silver Lance or help us fight the Black Knight, let's get some revenge for those mercenaries.
And just for fun, he's naming all the forges after previous Fire Emblem characters. So there you see Sheeta, who is the first Pegasus Knight in Fire Emblem history. And yeah, it's just going to be a lot of experience boosting here.
Yeah, 11 more level ups.
This game also introduces a really good mechanic, honestly. It's the 21st level promotion. Instead of being forced to use an item promote, now you can just level to 21 and it instantly promotes you.
Yeah, otherwise you'd have to kill the boss in that previous chapter to get a Master Seal, but just getting another level is quicker and easier.
It's also just useful overall in general because it allows you to have more units promoted instead of having to pick and choose who gets promoted when.
Plus, we no longer have to have the specific seal for the specific class, because that was a fun thing.
Yeah, they just have Master Seal generally for everybody here. Not every unit can promote, but most can. So it's...
Yeah. Do you want to use that Ocean Seal on a unit, or do you want to sell it for 40,000?
For all of one unit?
Yeah.
Hey, being a pirate's cool.
Arr.
You get to walk on water and something.
All right, get to rest my hands for a little bit because we get to watch a promotion animation.
Yeah, class change.
So she went from being a, kind of garden variety basic Pegasus Knight to being a Falcon Knight in, like one night or something like that.
One really good boot camp session. This is also their first attempt at the 3D models, and it succeeded. They have feet, unlike certain other games.
Just making sure I got the Lagoon Slayer. Okay.
So it's not a big deal for most of the run, but Marcia also now has access to swords. Like I said, that's not going to be super useful for much of the run, but there is going to be a case of it later on.
So I'm going to go hide in the river here, and it turns out if the enemies can't figure out how to reach you, they're just going to stand still.
Except for this guy. He's going to go around looting.
And that's fine. We don't need any of that stuff.
think that's like an Elwinge tome, but Soren's not fighting, so it's fine.
Now we're gonna just drop off Ike here and get some of these enemies out of the way.
Yeah, so this kind of formation is pretty common in the run. You saw a little bit of it on Chapter 3 where we will have everybody unequipped except for one unit in the front just to keep the path clear. This is a little bit of a variation on that, but generally we're just going to have one unit tank all the hits, pull every enemy they can, and just keep the front open so that we can move forward. And these guys canter in an interesting way that just very conveniently doesn't block our way forward, unless you have some weird like stat variations that can mess with the AI a little bit.
Thankfully, the goal of this chapter is just for one unit to arrive at the blue point. So you can have that be anybody. We're just going to use Ike just because you're forced to deploy him.
Well, and also this guy is really tanky, so we can't really kill him with anyone other than Marcia with the forged steel lance we just made.
And no, you can't have Marcia Canto onto there and arrive. You have to use the command.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and we just get the Black Knight too. Sorry, who? We haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, he shows up after like 5 turns, and obviously we didn't take that long.
He shows up the turn after you enter the boss's range. So if we had taken one more turn there, he would have shown up and just start haunting your dreams. Also, someone's supposed to show up there on turn 5 or something. I'm not sure. I think they ran a Pegasus or something. Har? No, Dragon Knight. Yeah, Har shows up or something. And you cannot skip this cutscene. It's kind of annoying.
So we could go fast at least, but yeah. Soph does it play a part in this run, so we'll look forward to that later.
Can you imagine playing Radiant Dawn first, seeing Soph coming into this game going, what the heck happened?
Like he admires Ike. Why?
Ike's a pretty good unit, and he has, let's just say he has some room to grow himself. So I made a forged steel axe for Titania called the Jagan, named after the first unit similar to her from the very first Fire Emblem game.
Yep, the Jagan. And so this is a route map, but reinforcements constantly show up. So the faster you kill everything, the faster you end the map just because enemies stop appearing.
Marcia's going to go rush towards the boss, and a few things still over on the left will go to Titania.
Yeah, useless.
Yeah, there are a bunch of items that come in on those ravens over the course of the map, but we don't need them.
Also,
we just want to finish the map.
Also, interesting mechanic is that units in a boat cannot interact with units outside the boat and vice versa. So
yeah, there's some sort of like additional distance. Like I think it counts as 2 range if you're just on the gap, like the edge of the boat. It's kind of tricky.
They made boats really tall or something. Who knows?
All right, no corrode, please. Okay, that's fine.
Nice.
Yeah, we kind of need that weapon.
We have a mitigation if it happens, and you can also proc Miracle there to have lethal damage, so that didn't happen either. You didn't waste your time. Thanks, Seeker.
Yeah, Miracle is luck % chance to activate, and it's so rarely an issue that when it is, it really stands out.
Yeah, there's a scary boss near the end of the game that has ruined many of my runs, maybe more than any other runner, weirdly enough. So.
And with that, we have cleared the map. No ravens showing up. No weird person on the dragon chasing us is going to show up.
Jill who?
Who?
There, we got a little bit more of a bonus experience dump here. It's going to go like 7 levels.
So you have a moment.
Great. Then I would like to remind everyone we are raising money for Nami, but Nami is also here to help us. They understand that in the last few years there has been a very stressful time for many people across the world, and this has put a huge strain on people's mental health. In the United States alone, 21% of adults report suffering from some kind of mental illness. That is roughly 52.9 million people. Please remember to reach out for help if you feel like you need it. You are not alone. And again, all of those donations go to this fantastic cause. They also go towards our incentives if you pick one. I want to see that Black Knight fight.
How's the
We do too.
Black Knight fight incentive doing right now?
We are at $270 out of $750.
Awesome.
We could eat that.
Yeah, keep it coming.
Can you remind me about how deep into the game that is?
We can stretch it out pretty far if we need to.
Okay.
We're on chapter 27.
27.
Yeah, that's pretty far.
We have like at least an hour, I would say, but how much more is not exactly set in stone.
And here's Paula, another Pegasus Knight.
Fumbling. There we go. Surf robe.
7 HP.
I'm going to make one more save just because that is a lot of preps I don't want to have to redo.
So this is one of the more interesting maps here. There's a ton of enemies, and it's a defend point for 10 turns. But if you manage to remove every enemy on the map, it will also end early. So there's multiple goals here, and he's using a lot of units here to accomplish them.
Yeah, so the basic mechanics of this map, like you can see, it's a defend map. There are ravens that will come in. There are all these enemies that you have to worry about. And the ravens is like, they just really want to plunder more than anything. They will win the map if you let them, but they're going to go for the treasures first. And once all the treasures are gone, then they're just going to leave. So that's where Volk comes in, and these chest keys as well. So one of the goals is to open all the treasure chests. Not necessarily because we need their contents, but because we want the ravens to go away and not waste our time. So Volk gets shoved here, and he's able to get that chest on turn 1. He's going to be moving around and getting a couple more chests. Reese here is going to shove Ike. Why the little healer can do that, I don't know, but
He works out.
He's really tall apparently.
Yeah.
So now we have a couple units. Astrid, who is really weak but levels up fast, and Gatry again.
He's back.
Yep. And they can pick up some of the allied units, which is going to save us time, because otherwise they do slightly less effective combat than us and waste a bunch of time.
They like to waste time. They like to waste experience. They also like to do the vulnerary run around,
Yeah.
where they just pass around one vulnerary and just keep healing.
So we didn't have quite enough units to get all the green units, but there's one left, and we'll take care of him on the second turn. I think I did my turn 1 inputs pretty well. That's one of the most frantic turn 1s in the entire game, just because there's so many units involved. And if you like forget one thing, then a green unit goes off and ruins your day.
Yeah, on top of that, like the movement menuing is really tricky in this game, because with the GameCube control, or just controller in general, you have 2 different ways you can use it: analog stick and D-pad. If you use the analog stick or use the D-pad, the movement will basically stop on any solid object, which is really good for like hitting specific points, especially and the edge of your movement. But if you use the analog stick, your cursor will fly through everything, even outside your own range if you keep moving. So it's really tricky, like adjusting, using both of them to maximum effectiveness.
Especially because it moves really fast when you're holding the B button, and that's optimal.
Yeah, if you're not holding B, you're doing something wrong. On top of that, on this map, there's a lot of stationary units, so you have to go out and hunt them yourself.
Yeah, like all those halberdiers on like the bridges will just kind of stand there until you go right up to them. Unless they see the...
Yeah, if I leave the point unguarded, they will take advantage of that.
yeah, that's
So-
the only time I'll move.
So I recently found a way to move Lethe on turn 1 that I wouldn't have to do anything to cover the point on turn 2. I've had some runs die where I just leave it open because I forgot to move Gatry or something like that, and that's a really bad way to lose a run.
Don't rescue the cat.
Yes. Alright, everything's on track.
Yeah, so now it's going to be pretty self-explanatory, just getting chests, blocking the point, and killing enemies. So if there's anything else you want to say, now's a good time.
Useless.
Nice.
I do. I would like to talk about how you may have noticed we are talking about incentives and prizes. This means that via your generous donations, we can potentially name characters. We make our runners complete difficult or ridiculous tasks, or help you pick which story you get to see in certain games. You can also become eligible to win numerous prizes donated by the community members. Remember that 100% of the donations go directly to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. For more information, check the channel bio for a link to the 2026 tracker. And there's a lot of really cool prizes. I'm still shocked at that Umbreon plush. That is adorable.
It's definitely one of the more cuddly ones we've had.
It's so cuddly and it's huge.
It's really cool to get that mage to fight at one range, because he has no other legal attack square from.
If folks want to donate and tell me their favorite Fire Emblem Lord as well, that would be kind of fun. Just because I know there's a lot of very passionate opinions on that topic.
Mine should be obvious based off my username.
Nice.
That's useful.
Saved a counterattack and a second attack there.
On top of that, he's thrown every chest key he's got on Titania and Marcia, just so they can help loot these boxes as soon as possible. And the rest of the enemies are just stationary or ravens who will run away as soon as all these boxes are opened.
Marcia just gets stronger and stronger.
Trying to think who is my favorite. I'm not much of a favorite picker to begin with.
Here's the boss, Norris. He's actually kind of like a recurring character for a few chapters here, and you finally get to take him out here.
Georgie, he's an archer, too.
I think I'm going to go with Ike because, like, most of them are very serious, and Ike has this dry sense of humor that shows up a good few times over the course of the two Tellius games.
We like Ike around here. Thankfully, thanks to the Nintendo subscription, this game is now a lot more accessible than it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And the crowds say, there's nothing left for us.
See ya.
Goodbye.
So here you see it's turned 6 out of 10. And after eliminating these guys,
And it's not going to quite end yet for some reason, but close.
it's got some story reinforcements that have to happen. But these are just straight up skips the enemy phase now.
Two more crows show up, and they say, wait, everyone else already left. Bye.
Yep. We're late for the party.
All right, that's a tough chapter mechanically, so I'm glad to be past it. Now we have more of a breather chapter. No mini preps, and it's going to be mostly the Ike and Marcia show. Now that's going to burn me later. I'll see what that does.
Hopefully it shouldn't, because
We'll
never
see.
closed the menu. But yeah, long river, which means inaccessible areas.
Yeah, so this is just a pretty simple defeat boss chapter. Going there in a way that basically allows the fewest attacks. It ends up being the fastest overall. Ike is going to get dropped over here, and then Marcia is going to go and finish the boss. And enemies are also going to move, loot. Also, there's this pink-haired guy. I don't know what his significance is.
He's some loser who lost all his money to gambling or something.
And that is a Vantage Scroll. That is important for Marcia because what Vantage does in Path of Radiance specifically is when an enemy attacks you, you counter before their attack. It is a really good skill, and when your carry is doing that, it's a good place to be.
Yeah, mostly just for skipping enemy animations and a lot more survivability.
Apparently that guy had something to say. Whatever.
Who knows?
He looked familiar somehow. So anyway, weapon triangle is like a very commonly attributed mechanic of this game.
Yeah, remember, Lance's beats...
Lance's beat axes, right?
Yeah, that's what we said earlier.
Yeah, no problem.
And he can crit on that counterattack, but it's really unlikely, and as long as Marcia has a certain amount of HP, she survives just fine.
Yeah, she kind of has too much HP right now. And,
She'll need it for later.
and Igo's mostly just carried around so he doesn't exist on the map.
I think the only unit that would be likely to have that much HP at this point in the game would be a trained Mordecai.
Maybe a trained Boyd as well if you're as high as Marcia was.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen on hard mode. Unless you really try.
feed all of Ike's experience void. Maybe someone just really likes hero units.
So there's a lot of bonus XP if you only defeat the boss here, which is the goal of the chapter. We also want to get the boots item, and that is why Volk is going up there. So we're not going to be defeating any of these other Lagoos.
Despite their best attempts.
Yep. And Volk has Shade, so he's not going to be prioritized for attack. That is Guard. That is going to be Marsha's other skill. Basically, it prevents counterattacks. The chance of that happening is skill percent.
I have some battle animations. Something to look forward to if we meet the Black Knight incentive. We're going to do some player versus player here, where I'm a recruitable unit later on.
Yeah, he joins after this chapter.
But we have just enough damage to take him out.
He just lies down for a nap. And that's the chapter. 2 turns.
So thieves traditionally have always had a big boost to picking up items, and in the Tellius games, or at least in this one, it is a full guarantee that they will pick up the item if they're in the spot in the desert map.
So now we have Guard on Marcia, which is just a skill percent.
Yeah.
Skill percent chance to just completely negate the opponent's counterattack, saving animations overall.
It's going to be about a 1 in 4.
Yeah, and that's the other half of our board here. Just useful and useless cards, and there's going to be a lot of useless cards.
What's our current stats? Reading out?
7 useless crits, 6 useful, and 1 counter.
All right. Going to do Ike up to level 20 here, and then as much as we can on Marcia would be about level 17, I think.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why we're leveling up Ike like this, even though like he's going to get a little bit of experience, it's because when a unit is maxed out on experience, the experience bar doesn't show up after combat, and that adds up.
Especially in the upcoming chapters.
Yeah, the next chapter is going to be a section where we have to have Ike arrive, but we also have a secondary objective of getting a Wrath Scroll. And that's going to be important for Ike later on. What Wrath does is when you're below half HP, you get a plus 50 boost to your crit chance. Very significant, very useful, and the 2 biggest fights in the game, basically, the Black Knight and Ashnard, it is particularly useful for defeating them fast.
And therefore, Marcia exceeds some of her stats are green. That means they are capped out, and it's pretty much as powerful as she's going to get, especially in strength and speed, which is quite unfortunate how low her strength is.
Although the speed, at least, is nice because it's like she's not going to get doubled, and she is going to be pretty dodgy because speed adds 2 to your avoidance for attacks. The crit avoid is just purely luck, but that's 2% per speed point for dodging attacks, and that is always nice.
On top of that, the ever classic,
That's fine. I did something out of order. Get rid of these.
and of course, the ever classic boots on a Pegasus.
Zoom.
Makes them fly farther. You know, you gotta keep those feet warm.
Just make a safety save. I don't need to do all of those reps again, hopefully.
Hopefully, Titania doesn't die to shenanigans.
Yeah, that never happened. What are you talking about?
So Marcia's going to ferry Ike, and Volk is going to be ferried by Titania. They are going to this position because it's going to manipulate the swordsman.
Oh, animations are still on.
We get a few extra animations.
Oh, that's double.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we were kind of going over different strats here in the practice room a little bit, and so what's probably going to happen now is Titania is going to unequip her weapon. And
Hey!
That's Vantage.
Yep.
So that's a normal thing.
Not a guard.
Yep. Guard will activate when on the hit.
Yep.
Okay, I'll turn animation off first thing. Okay, we got another Forged Javelin over here. The Catra.
That's
Second,
guard.
There's a guard.
second of the White Wings.
Gamble, that's a fun skill that you never ever use ever.
Can you defeat that? Okay, see, in
Alright,
practice,
yeah.
this guy would not go down in one hit. It was
He will
very
not
strange.
Die.
Yeah, it's pretty unlikely, but like if that happens, then you just unequip Titania's weapon and use a vuln.
You're gonna hear a lot of that "bwee" every time Vantage activates.
And these guys are gonna just chase after us in vain. Unfortunately, they don't have boots on their horses.
So Marsha's taking out that guy and then going to head up into the main room with Ike. Titania is taking a thief, like I said, to get a Wrath Scroll, and that is in the corridor that is just below where Marsha is right now. There are a couple enemy units there, but they're pretty easy to deal with. Not necessarily kill, but deal with. And we're going to get that and seize on the same turn.
So just drop off Ike near the boss, but not at him. Titania Volk here.
And there will be some switching between weapons that are basically the same, like the White Wing weapons, just because we want to use durability on those different weapons so that A, they don't break, which costs a little bit of time, and B, you're guaranteed to have the uses you need when you need them.
Yeah, if we front load everything onto one weapon, it can awkwardly end in like your turn not completing everything it was supposed to do because then your weapon breaks, and that would be bad. Fishing for crits on the Vantage, not seeing too many yet.
Yeah, having a useful card.
That's a guard.
Your non-existent attack will not happen.
As you stare at their corpse.
So here's the boss. He can... Oh,
Yeah.
nice
There we
crit.
go.
That is a very beneficial crit because he is tanky. And otherwise, he'd likely take multiple turns to finish. Titania is going to break this door, and then Volk is going to go in here and get the Wrath Scroll.
Now this is
No,
full guard.
this is the full guard, yeah.
Yep.
Wrath is the next one.
Yep. Full guard is useful as it eliminates any weaknesses you have from weapon advantages. So for Pegasus, it removes bow weakness and wind weakness. Wind weakness is whatever, but the bow weakness, pretty good.
Yeah. So, like...
Hold on, I didn't mean to go that far. We can go back.
And so what it does, it doesn't have damage overall. What it does is it makes it so that the weapon's might only applies once. And that means that a lot of times Marsha is going to take low or very negligible or none even damage.
And it's everybody's favorite Fire Emblem character, Mars. You know, that guy that was released in Smash Brothers or something?
You mean Ike?
No. At least I got the game before Smash Brothers. Who's Roy?
Oh,
Roy.
true.
Yeah.
Roy? I think Roy showed up in Fire Emblem 7 or something.
Fire Emblem 6.
No. Surely he shows up at the end of 7.
Yeah, technically he does. Very briefly.
At least back then he had a father.
Oh, so like this might be a good time to talk about the plot of this game a little bit because things are starting to get serious a little bit.
True. So what's been happening so far is the country of Dayan has invaded the country of Crimea, where Ike is from. And right now we're in the country of Benyan, which is an empire instead of a kingdom like the other two. Why exactly did Dayan invade? Well, they are ruled by a guy named Ashnard, who is referred to as the Mad King. Figure it out. There's also the nation of Gallia that they went through. Humans, or Beork as they're called in the lore here, and Laguz are not at the best terms. There's a whole history with like wars and such, and people looking down on the beast races, so they kind of interact more with each other, but except the dragons. Goldoa does not move. And we escaped Crimea, made our way to Binyan to try to get help, and now there's like, the Empress is basically like, okay, we might be able to help you, but you're going to have to do some stuff for us first. And right now we are in Serenese Forest, the place where the herons used to live until they were massacred and the forest was burned about a century before the game, as I recall. And yeah, so we're going here just looking to see what we can find. Maybe there's a heron, maybe not. There's rumors of something happening because of this one
person in the Senate.
Yeah, this one senator is trying to find a heron. He's like, ooh, this would be rare. Such beauty.
That was a useful crit on the archer, right?
I believe.
Wasn't paying attention, yeah.
It might be. I don't think so.
It was 27 damage. That seems close enough.
But yeah, so now we're trying to find a heron. And he has this heron already kind of captured, and the heron ran off. That's why we're specifically...
Finally, a useful guard.
Because he was in Oliver's control before. So now we followed him here. And brief spoiler, I guess, because we're going to find this heron and Ike's going to carry her. We're going to find a completely different heron instead. So Rayson was thought to be the only survivor. Nope, there's another.
Also, it's neat. This is a series of 4 maps in a row, and they all have different objectives.
Yeah,
The first one is the route 1.
Yeah, and it was important that we got enemies out of there on turn 2, otherwise reinforcements would show up. The same kind of thing, we can hide in the forest here, and the enemies don't move until we get close to the exit.
Must have been the wind.
Yeah. Yeah, look like a Pegasus. No, there's no Pegasus there.
It can't be a Pegasus. It's wearing boots. Who would be sitting up boots are to Pegasus?
I haven't even put the full guard on Marcy yet, and she's barely affected by this poor archer. Just trying to do his job, and can't do it very well.
All right, that's the second part. Now for the third part.
So this is easily the longest part. And the reason is because it's just basically survive for 10 turns.
How's our Black Knight extensive doing right now?
We are still at $270. We did get some donations in, but it went towards the forged weapon.
All right. I will keep our options open so that we can do that, but we'll be chapter 27 before you know it, so that'd be a really cool fight to show off.
Yeah. And so right now what we're doing is we're killing off a few enemies with Marcia because Ike is weighed down by carrying Leanne. And so he's not very good at combat right now. Still good enough to kill an axe user who's slow and everything, but a lot of these other units, particularly the spearmen and the mages, would be trouble for him. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Ike into the upper left corner, manipulate which enemies are near him, and then put Marcia in a little place that is out of range for literally everyone else on this map. And then we're going to wait, and they're going to move around and all that. So I guess what I'll do right now is I'll talk a little bit about the Black Knight fight. It is the actual hardest fight in this game. You only have limited time. Ike has, well, in this case, we know what stats he's going to have for that fight, but like he needs to be strong enough to defeat him. Mist is there. You can train her up or not. And then some reinforcements show up that will heal the Black Knight. Ike doesn't deal that much damage. He doesn't double natively. It's a whole lot of circumstance that means it's hard to win the fight. So if you want to see that, we are going to be doing one thing in the next map here to make that more likely, but there's a fair amount of technique and specific strategy that goes into making that fight work.
Yeah, raises our odds to more than a coin flip.
Yeah, we can have decent reliability.
Yeah. So right here we have one guy able to attack Ike, and no one else is going to be able to get in range, even if they have 2 range. So
And Marsha's going to hide in some rubble.
So Ike just tanks this one guy who single attacks him. He can dodge. How much he dodges will affect basically whether we use an elixir or not. Ideally we don't, but if we do, then we'll just trade another one onto him for the Black Knight fight. That has 3 uses.
So, yeah, so he's currently rescuing a unit, and whenever you rescue a unit, it halves your speed and your skill, so you're a lot slower, you're a lot less likely to dodge or hit things, and it's just puts you in a very vulnerable state. Hey, that looks safe.
So far, so good.
It's taking 6 damage per hit.
3 turns left or so?
Yeah, let's check the turns. It's turn 7, so we have 4 more enemy phases.
So yeah, Alara, you do have a moment here before we have to explain the next map.
Perfect. So like I said, we did get a donation in for naming the strongest forged weapon, and that was $50 from Belindra, who says, I think Raphael would be a perfect name for the strongest forged weapon.
Probably
Revenge for the citizens of Serenus Forest.
You could probably eat a vulnerary here, I'd be safe.
I don't have any vulneraries, I only have the elixir.
Fair enough.
So if I get hit again, I will use the elixir, unless I touch this one. Darn.
Darn.
Watch him dodge the next attack anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Usually how it is.
But yeah, Raphael is the final Herod, and he only shows up in Radiant Dawn.
From across the desert.
Okay, justified elixir.
Yep. Because otherwise we would have had to do all of that again.
All right, so part 4 of this map. We're going to do a little bit of detour to enable us to do the Black Knight fight, but it's only a little bit of time.
So keep donating. Yeah, Ike's going to go up there because he doesn't really need to do anything. Marcia is going to be attacked by this long-range siege tome here. It has a single-digit chance to hit, which, of course, it did in practice. And, so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be positioning Marcia so that this guy with the Adept scroll over here to the left is going to attack Marcia and not survive. So, rather foolishly, that is going to happen. Normally, we would go ahead and just take out the boss on this turn.
Is that a javelin on him?
That was a double guard, yeah.
So, Marcia is not going to go the full distance because otherwise she would kill the boss on enemy phase. But taking out that guy is going to allow her to be in range of the guy with Adept. And then enemy order is based on essentially a list. So the boss is later in the list than the guy with the Adept scroll, meaning the Adept scroll guy will attack Marcia first. There are a few other attacks, but
Probably useless.
It is what it is.
Useless.
Yeah, that was useless. And so we're going to get the Adept scroll, which allows you to have a skill percent chance
Nice
of
guard.
attacking twice. That is a useful guard because that way he doesn't counter. And then after a little bit more stuff and movement, the boss is going to attack Marcia and meet the same fate.
It's the most beautiful man.
Well, almost the same fate if you play Radiant Dawn.
It's the most beautiful man I'll tell you here.
I
Nice.
didn't want us to get overwhelmed by his beauty, so he stayed on screen for only a second there.
That was a double guard, too.
It's both useful and useless.
All right, that is the long gauntlet of Chapter 17 over. And Ike's going to get his promotion now, so a little bit of a pause.
He's also getting a real life promotion. He goes become a general of an army. And he's still missing a lot of his muscles that he has in Radiant Dawn.
Just
Yeah.
give him a few years.
He gets some strength. He is, but he is typically faster in this game. He has a decent base speed, And if you're doing random growths, he has a 50 strength growth and I believe a 55 speed.
Yeah, he's no slouch. He is a little bit plot important for fighting some of the major antagonists here, so if you don't take advantage of his growths, you're gonna be in a bit of trouble.
And thankfully, they promote him halfway through the game, unlike some other lords.
Right.
So we're getting Marcia here to level 20, getting Ike just a couple levels so he hits some benchmarks. But we're going to keep him otherwise low-ish level so that he gets some experience from the combat he's going to be doing over the next several chapters. And eventually he will also hit level 20. But for the moment, it's a bit more effective to just do one big bonus XP session later on.
Especially when you have more bonus experience, so you don't have to come back here.
Yeah. As opposed to doing it piecemeal multiple times.
And it's everybody's favorite archetype, the Est.
So allowing these guys to join, they're not going to do much, but we get racing, and that's the important part. So pretty much every Fire Emblem game, besides this, has a dancer, or in Seven's case, also a bard. Racing and the Herons are the Tellius games' dancers. They're squishy, but resistant to magic, like dancers usually are. They don't attack, but they can refresh a unit's move and ability to attack again. And that is very important in a couple places here. So we're going to go up here and immediately refresh Marcia.
Yeah, essentially, you have a squishy copy of your... You have a squishy second best copy of your best unit. And that's really good.
So another attack here.
Nice.
Beneficial crit.
2 crits turn 1. And we did max out Marcia. She doesn't get XP bars either now. Not there. You go here. And then Tanef is here just to get racing out of the way.
And Ike is going to stand rear guard.
Yeah, there are going to be some reinforcements that show up down there, and Ike's going to fight them for some experience. Normally, it wouldn't matter so much who fights them, but since we're trying to set up for the Black Knight fight, we want that little bit of extra experience on Ike.
Titania's using her killer axe, and so she has a high crit rate, but that was very useful. And we get one more. Counter!
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it doesn't matter.
Counter never matters. Can counter be lethal? Or is it just default
Yes.
1?
It can, it just never is.
Except in Awakening when you're fighting certain...
We don't talk about
Full
Awakening
undead.
Counter.
Awakening Counter might as well have a completely different name, because it's actually good. So this is a route map, so we just gotta clean up everything here.
I was waiting for that second attack to be a crit.
Ike here is going to go body some dragons. With the Marth sword, appropriately.
The blade of light that will defeat the dark dragon.
Use his guard.
So I forged the Est, the last of the White Wings, and it's going to get mostly used up on this chapter and the next chapter, but you might see it a little bit after that. So we gave Ike a couple of extra levels just to make sure he met the benchmark of one-rounding that, or he could just crit.
The crits are coming out this chapter.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Every crit's saving a couple seconds.
Yeah, thankfully, unlike Pokemon, useless crits don't waste time. They are funny.
That's all the enemies down there.
Yeah, this guy look familiar to you.
Yeah, that's Shinon.
Oh, okay.
He's He's kind of an unpleasant person, though, so do we really want to bring him back?
He is the most annoying
Yeah, look,
in Fire
he's
Emblem.
attacking us.
He got 2 attacks off. It's cheating. Oh,
Very brave of him.
He had a brave. Okay, put that away. We don't need that.
Hey,
Nice card.
useful. Useless.
So I did pick up an important item from the treasure chest there. The raft scroll.
Like I said, that when you're under half health, or at half health, or under rather, it adds 50 to your crit chance.
Yep. And then Titania in the lower left and Tanith are standing in a particular square where reinforcements would appear, but since they're occupying the square, the reinforcements will not show up. So we save a few more combats that way.
You know what? Those guys are probably happy. They get to just
Survive.
lazy. They get to be lazy at their job, you know? Like, somebody's standing where we're supposed to go. What do we do? Go to Cancun or something.
So the last thing that's of any real note in this map is that these crows, ravens that are coming in, they
Nice.
don't all transform right away, so Marcia's going to be doing a little bit of later phase killing of them to speed things up a little bit.
Yeah, they did not get the memo. To come ready.
I mean, to be fair, we're going really fast, so they came as fast as they could.
They're nice enough to charge you regardless, at least.
Unlike some other people who just stayed home. Nice. That was a good crit.
I'm gonna go off. They're the ones that haven't transformed yet, just to see if I can skip a transformation animation like that. And it's just gonna be one more turn after this.
They tried their
Guard crit.
guard crit. Crit.
Go.
There's so many crits this chapter.
And as I recall, these guys do actually have a luck stat, even if it's not great.
All right, dude, cuts are useful or useless.
That was a cancel
useful.
crit.
It's useful.
They cancel. It's useless.
All right, next chapter is going to be pretty fast, but we're going to accomplish it with a shove train here. So similar to chapter 13.
Yeah, at this point, you can get the Night Ring if you have Nesala talk to Rayson, but we don't need that. Instead, we're going to use Rayson to just get Marcia farther along in the map. We're also, like we said, doing a shove train. The first shove is going to be on Rayson.
We got Yanov here, then Olki.
Yeah, racing is pretty light. And here's Mordecai, best boy.
He is going to smite Marcia because he is big boy and has the smite skill, which moves him 2 spaces.
And he's just big enough to push a horse, even with the boots on.
So all this is to get Rayson far enough up that he can go right behind Marcia here and refresh her movement.
Yep, and it's just killed the boss,
Yep,
who just happens to be on the other side of the map.
nice easy chapter. As long as you remember the order, because the order does matter because of where they're all positioned for shoving.
And we're getting pretty close to that Black Knight fight. How are we doing on that?
We are still at $275. We have gotten a little bit more love for the powerful weapons, but the Black Knight himself is still at $275. So we need those donations in, folks.
It's important that we don't hire Volk there because we get a long promotion animation, so we averted that. Okay, time to get Ike a few more levels.
Does a Volk at least give you your stuff back if you let him leave?
I don't remember how that works.
I mean, we don't need it anyway, so.
Anything that we needed is already off of him. Gonna go up to level 10 here. And if it's only 9, we might not quite have enough experience, but it usually is going to be 10. 9 is okay.
Resistance.
Very important stat, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, later on we come up against sleep staves, and resistance is one of your primary defenses against that. Along with distance.
Hey, Khalil. Khalil would be a really good caster. She did make the unfortunate decision of leveling up knives.
Yeah, instead of staves. That said, she comes with a siege tome, and that is going to be used pretty soon.
Or hopefully not on this chapter, anyway.
Yeah,
Or-
it's a backup strat on this chapter.
Menuing is difficult because you use a D-pad, it moves between squares, and the way it moves sometimes just doesn't make sense.
Usually sending Tanith on our own over here is fine, but it could backfire. We'll see. That's why I make a safety save. I'm going to launch Ike and Marcia forward as usual.
And Titania's here to keep Grayson safe after all that. Hey, that's Joe Who's father or something?
Who?
I don't know. Some day in general. He has a daughter employed by the army or something.
And Khalil moves forward just in case we need her to back up Marcia.
So this is like an inversion of the usual pattern where Ike's going to fight the boss and then Marcia's going to arrive, because oftentimes there's objectives where the main lord has to be the one to seize the point, but these arrive conditions allow anyone to do it. So it lets us take advantage of weapon triangle advantage against the boss who's using an axe with Ike's swords.
Additionally, a bit more XP on Ike.
Yeah, he needs a little, maybe.
Just a little, you know.
It'll mostly be Bex, but yeah.
Tanip's doing a good job down there. Sometimes she gets hit by everything, this time she's dodging everything. Well done. Nice. And Titania is going to be fine no matter what. And they're completely ignoring Kel because she's got a weapon, and weapons are scary. So they only want to fight the unarmed people.
Honestly, I would too.
All right, it's Ike versus Shiram. Hopefully he gets a crit. Nice.
Hey!
That's really helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, he was talking about Jill too. Who is Jill?
I don't know.
The girl from that one rhyme.
You know what? Considering she just lost her father, she might be a main character.
Let's turn off animations before I forget, Ann.
Yes,
Good
please.
pull, yeah.
I don't know. Use a bit more animation, though.
All right, Ike is already level 10, so I don't have to give him any more experience. Now would be the time for the name for the forged weapon.
So we had a donation come in at the last minute to go towards question mark slicer, but it was not enough.
Oh.
Raphael is still the winner.
What is the spelling here?
Capital R A F I E L.
Raphael Spear.
And then we'll make that white.
All right, thank you all for your donations for that. Let's see if we can push that Black Knight fight. We're getting pretty close to it.
I do genuinely want to see it, and we are getting love for it. We did actually get a $250 donation from PXMacaiah.
nice.
Oh, who that was. Let's fight that Black Knight. That did get us a good bit closer, y'all. We're setting you up for victory here.
Yeah, so that's in chapter 27. This is chapter 21.
That was a fumble on my part. That's why I made a safety save. These things happen.
While we get back there, can I read a little bit more?
Yep.
Sure.
Perfect, because we did get $5 from an anonymous donor who says, I must say, Fire Emblem is far greater than Water Emblem, though it may be on par with Wind, Earth Emblem, and of course Heart Emblem. What exactly is a Fire Emblem anyway? I love a good tactical RPG speedrun. Awesome job on the run, AKDylie. Trans rights.
Thank you.
You know, Fire Emblem changes with each game. Like, in the first game, I think it's some useless item you're forced to hold in your inventory or something.
It lets you open treasure. It's not useless.
Well, as useful as the Sacred Sword you have to use.
So this is Dane's capital. We're going to stick to the waterways. Basically, Tanith is going to grab Raisin and bring him back to the corner, so it takes a while for the enemies to get there. The most annoying thing in this chapter is the fact that the boss has Miracle, so luck % chance of not dying to lethal damage. And it can happen multiple times in this fight. It is very unlikely to happen multiple times, but if it does happen, then it's basically a reset. But in the meantime, we're just making our way over to the boss chamber, making it so that as few enemies can attack as possible. Some of these guys, as you can see, are going to keep moving towards Tanith. But, yeah.
Would you say this is our obligatory sewer dungeon?
It's kind of like that, I guess.
We've already had a dungeon, but yeah, like, this is a throne room to a castle. It's like, why is it like this?
Indoor moats. Because Dan's got some interesting decoration.
Once you do have time, let me know.
Here's
Maybe a quick one right now.
yeah.
Okay, so we did get $10 from Prof Ness. That went to the weapon incentive that I mentioned, most powerful weapon. That's a tough one. And then lastly, we did get $25 from Prof Ness again, but this time going towards the Fight the Black Knight incentive. So we are now at $550, $200 away.
Nice. So Marcia is just keeping the way clear here, but we're going to hopefully have a straight shot to the boss and the seize point next turn.
Oh, useless crit. And your weapon broke.
That's a problem. That really doesn't happen, so I'm going to improvise here. We're going to still get Taronio. Taronio is going to take care of this thing that Marcia couldn't.
Guess now we have to hope Tanith survives a turn.
Tanith should be fine for one turn.
You can only get attacked by 2 people, and they're not the strongest.
And I'm thinking, like...
Because now Ike's too far away to run to the...
I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 now. I'm just going to take this guy out with the Catria, just so that he's not too annoying and blocking our way any further.
We did fortunately save a couple uses on that because of crits.
Yeah, they're just going to take an extra turn here, and hopefully that's fine.
That guy is running away because he's at really low health and he wants to heal.
He wants to eat something to heal.
So he's running to, like, the nearest non-boss with a healing item that he can see.
Ooh, they move.
That's fine. I have extra uses on the Catria still, so... Now we're going to do the previous turn strat just on this next turn.
Nice crit, Taronio.
All right.
Everyone's getting on the crit train.
I think that's okay. so interesting that he's using that spear. So yes, you're good. You're gonna rescue. It might have not been strictly necessary. Make sure to get his spear. Put on the Raphael. Take drop and should be good.
Here's an actual dragon.
We'll do animations if that doesn't happen. So
Nice.
nice guard crit.
Guard crit.
Gets us a little bit of time back. So only a little bit of discomfort there. Tanif's going to take 2 here, or just dodge. She doesn't even take 2. All right, not too bad. Improvising wasn't so horrible this time, but oftentimes things can go from bad to worse very quickly. I probably would have unequipped him if I had remembered to, but good job, Terraria.
But you took his weapon away.
Yeah, it would have been hard. He's got a big silver blade, so even he's pretty powerful right now. And he's a pretty high-level unit to start with.
Yeah, he's already promoted at level 10.
Mm-hmm.
All right, a little bit of a breather chapter here.
So plot-wise, we've now conquered Dane's capital, but we still need to get to Crimea. In the meantime, though, there's this monastery that apparently is being attacked by bandits, and so being the good guys, we're like, oh, we should go help and save all the priests.
Yep, you get bonus experience if you save them all.
You get the Ashra
Oops,
staff.
I targeted.
No, not
Priest.
Ashra, but the
It's okay, he's alive.
Oh, wait.
Oh. He's doing it again.
I guess meteors do land twice. How unlucky.
So yeah, the priests in here are really wimpy. They die really easily, so it's faster to get them out of the way in whatever way possible. And in this case, it's killing them.
You're intended to like shove them around and just go around them, but yeah.
There's a way we can target the boss directly with meteor, but it's very unreliable to do so.
Yeah.
So we're doing marathon save strats here.
Yeah, you still want to do the one turn if you can because it saves time overall.
We have enough uses left on the S that Tanif can go in and fight this sniper without any additional stuff.
Or she could crit.
Actually, it'd be very awkward if we didn't have enough uses because Marcia's spear already broke, so we didn't have it to trade to her. So just as well.
All right, and once again, Marcia's just going to come in and kill the boss.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see how this goes. Remember, lances beat axes.
Yep, definitely.
And then we're going to find some backstory in here regarding Ike and his parents. Basically, like his mother used to be here.
Yeah, it was something called the Fire Emblem or something. I don't know. That's relevant.
Seems like it should be.
Oh,
That's a guard.
it's a guard. Oh, we didn't kill him. Oh, good thing he moves first.
Yeah, so he can crit here, but, well,
No chance.
he needs a chance.
And he drops a bow, which maybe he should have used against Pegasus. No, you know?
Yeah, like moved back and attacked with a bow and had like an 80% crit chance.
You know, he thought axes beat spears. I don't know why he would think that.
We're going to forge another weapon here, a slim lance.
That's
Sword.
a sword.
Slim sword, sorry. And we're going to name it after a protagonist from Fire Emblem The Blazing Blade, the first game for Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, appropriate, weak, and very fast.
And has about as much use in this run as she does in that game, unfortunately.
It is used very briefly. And that's basically because you want to save some uses, and it ends up being a little bit more effective to
So,
use.
here's the meme bridge. Anyone who has played this game and Radiant Dawn will never forget this chapter for how stupid it is.
Yeah, tons of hidden pitfalls.
Forgot the animations again.
Oh, it's getting
yeah.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
So, how do you dig a pitfall in a stone bridge. How do you think multiple of them?
The animations are fun. They're a little janky, but they are a little slow, so just losing a few extra seconds each time here. And I'll remember to turn them off first thing next turn. But I do want them on for the boss of this chapter as well, because she's a major antagonist.
You can see the enemy there running around the pitfall, so if you ever want to figure out where they are, you can do that, or just look up a map on some website.
Yeah, there are some that are a little more obvious, but some are kind of mean in their placement.
Yeah, so the boss of this chapter is Petrine. She's one of the 4 riders of Dayan. We just recruited one of them, Toronio. He's the only holdover from, like, the pre-Ashnert days. Ike's father was one of them as well back in the day. Until he touched the amulet that Mist has right now and Ike's mother had, and flew into a rage and killed Ike's mom.
Mist actually had it stolen from her at this point.
Yeah.
But she was carrying it for the part of the game. She showed it to some people, and then it disappeared.
Yeah, so more of the story is don't touch the Fire Emblem.
And that's your special.
Mm-hmm. So, like, Mist has the water element. That's obviously, so, like, with Japanese theming, it's calmness, it's healing, and that sort of stuff. So, like, she's the polar opposite of it, so she can handle it.
Sorry, but who's Mist? I don't think we've seen her all game.
She showed up in Chapter 9 for just a little bit.
She was there for a little bit. She stood in one place. And, so...
Maybe she's a protagonist. Hey, that's a pretty good rock. It only hits 1 unit.
If you're a fan of Mist, you can donate for the Black Knight fight.
Yeah.
She'll show up there, yeah.
She will.
And she will actually be useful.
She will. I promise.
No, like, actually useful.
She uses healing stabs. Hey, Adapt.
Hey, Adapt. Just guaranteed double attack. With a double animation that never used ever in this game otherwise.
Brave Sword, I think.
Oh, yeah, the Brave Weapons do that. True.
Wait, do you get your own Brave Sword in this game? You might not.
You can.
Surely you should be able to buy one at some point.
No, it's, I think it's from a house, but I don't remember where.
Maybe it's a convo? I don't know. Hey, who's that guy?
I don't know. He seems like he should be stronger, though. Maybe it's
maybe after a nap.
Yeah.
For a few years.
Yeah, a few years.
Oh, who are these guys?
No animations. I guess that's the price I pay.
Hey, useful.
But I gotta go.
Useless.
She was a very intimidating antagonist, but by the time we remember that she's even here, like we've already kind of surpassed her, so she's not really that difficult anymore.
Also, once again, they dig pit holes in a stone bridge and not on the dirt path on either side of the bridge for whatever reason.
Yup.
Once again, we're getting really close to that Black Knight fight. How are we looking?
We are currently at $586 out of the $750 remaining, with a couple of donations that came in to help that along. So we need to keep going. We have good momentum, but we need to improve it.
That is sounding very doable.
Yep, we still have a couple chapters left.
Shove trade.
So with all of this that we're doing right now, we are able to get Marcia to the end with Ike. Or you don't need Ike. It's just arrived. Never mind. In 3 turns. This is a big map with a lot of enemies and green units doing a lot of stuff, so we want to minimize the turn count to the greatest extent possible. We don't have like a good warp staff potential, so what we're doing here is we are instead just getting to that castle as quickly as possible and waiting in the meantime. So, yeah, now is a good time for Anything you want to say?
Great. So we did have, as I mentioned, a couple of donations come in. Let's start with thanking Mike, who donated $25. Thank you so much for that. And then we had $11.11 come in from Fritzkin, who says, "Oh, I see. Running away, eh? You coward. Come back here and take what's coming to you. I'll bite your legs off."
That is a quote from a Black Knight.
Just by a flesh wound.
I think this Black Knight is pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clearly. Very serious. Does not give up easily.
True. So like staying here to clean up. There's going to be a few more reinforcements for us that join our army, but one of them will become relevant later. One will take some of her gear and never deploy her.
Yeah, the one unit that you get that you would guess we would use, we do use, Jeffrey. But now Bastion actually plays a minor but important role in one chapter later.
Nice.
Hey, useful.
That guy won't do anything anymore. That saves time.
Yeah, we kind of want the green units to either die quickly or kill things quickly just to reduce the total number of actions. So I don't really care who wins these battles as long as they're not draws.
Like that.
Yeah,
Oh, come on.
no double.
You had
Okay.
one job.
You guys probably weighed down by the longbow.
Hey.
That, I'm pretty sure, was a useful crit.
That looked like 29 instead of 31.
Yeah, maybe. Like we can count it either way.
Yeah. Just give me for a minute. Hold on to this.
Sure. Nice. That was a crit.
You're going to mark that down? That's
I
a
don't
useless crit.
have-
It's right on your lap.
Aha,
It was useful.
cool.
Yeah, this is a good break time during the run because the enemy phase is long and there aren't any experience bars showing up on anybody because Marcia is already maxed and the green units don't get experience.
Okay, perfect. So I do want to remind folks again, we have that Black Knight incentive. It is very, very much achievable. We are staring down $164 that we need to make up, but we have a few chapters to do it. So I believe in you, but we do need to get moving on that. So get those donations in. And when you do, remember, mark it towards the Black Knight incentive and maybe take a look at the prizes because we have a whole bunch of really cool prizes in here, including a copy of this game for the GameCube.
And most of those chapters are not as long as this one. So bear that in mind. Get your donations in. Tried to say donos and donations at the same time.
Yeah, we still have like 15 minutes at least before we have to make a decision here. But this chapter is coming to a close.
And now this is a chapter that is not so much notorious for what the chapter is.
Oh, by the way, Largo.
Hi.
World-class Berserker.
Because this chapter, we've reunited, but there's an attack coming from a different direction. So we have to go and head that off at the literal pass. And yeah, there is a very notorious line. Hey, eat rock. I'm clever. Eat rock.
If you can wrap to the top there, you can't wrap back to the bottom. There we go.
All right.
That one did get marked down.
So we picked up a cool weapon called the Brave Lance.
Yeah, that's from Jeffrey. It is a guaranteed double attack if you would not double, and if you would double, you get 4 attacks. it is rather powerful. The one problem with it is that it lacks a little bit in the accuracy department compared to some others.
Double guard.
Quad? Triple! Oh, baby.
I want to see more crits, though. I want to save uses of the Brave Lance if possible.
Yeah, that's the other problem with the Brave Lance. It doesn't have very many uses.
Yeah, 20 uses and you go through them quick.
Oh, it's 30, but we still go through them crit.
It's 20 in the GBA games, that's right.
Yeah.
Got a little more smite action here. And this is why I wanted to pick up the Lagoon Slayer, because if I don't have it, I don't have a reliable setup on this guy, and he can wreak havoc.
Also, another fun meme map besides the bridge map.
Let me know when I can chime in.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Perfect, because we are getting some love for that Black Knight fight. We did get $25 from an anonymous donor. Thank you so much, Anonymous, as well as $5 from My Hero Zero saying, I'm helping.
Thank you.
You are. You actually are. Every little bit counts.
Every bit counts, and we are just over $100 to it. I believe in you, chat. We can do this.
So everything, Marcia's on the north flank. Things are going to kind of run into her meat grinder of the Vantage Brave Lance.
These guys should watch out for rolling rocks.
Yeah, they failed to hit any of our units, so too bad for them.
Yeah, that one automatically happens on that turn no matter what, just to kind of show you the gimmick. But yeah, Marcia's going to be killing a lot of guys up here. And then the rest of the group is going to take out a few other random enemies because this is a route map.
Yeah, and that Brave Lance is already halfway gone.
Yeah, we'd like to see crits to like not have to waste a use just to deal 4 HP, but unless something goes like very wrong, we will have just enough uses. But yeah, this is a route map, so we're just going to be slowly dividing it up. Ike's got the left, Marcia's got the top, and everyone else is taking the right side.
Especially the rocks.
Ike level. I think that's the last one he's going to get until potentially the Black Knight fight.
Hey!
That's a good crit. That's useful.
Hard.
Yeah, we actually don't want to overlevel Ike because of HP thresholds.
Yeah, the skill we assigned him, Wrath, is only effective if he's at 50% HP. So if he gets too much HP, it's hard to get him into that range. Oh, okay. Sure.
Oh, healing. Physic.
That happens sometimes if you fail to kill him, but Largo's got a pretty decent chance at doing that. Sometimes you can one-shot this guy. Sometimes he rolls higher stats, but got him this time.
Yeah, the enemy stat variance isn't huge, but it does make a difference sometimes.
Just slight. Yeah, just slight stat difference will make him live a 1 or 2.
Dropping Racing so that she can fight more effectively next turn.
And Mordecai doing Mordecai things. I think he's there to shove Ike next turn.
Going after the Feral one specifically because that one has high speed and Largo has very low defense.
Maybe we should go after the Bishop. If I could
Yeah,
reach him.
this guy's gonna survive again too.
Well, he's not going to get healed again, at least.
He was just out of range anyway.
Okay, you don't see this every day.
Hey.
And we have met the fight, the Black Knight and
Yeah!
Yeah.
Very well done.
Let's go.
It's a group effort, just like this run is.
Yeah, this run is really cool because even though we have Marcia being our Juggernaut carry here, lots of her other units get to contribute little bits. Yeah, I really like it for that. So we have the trick with Marcia is that like we can't just use the Brave Lance, it doesn't have enough uses. So even like the plain old short spear and spear weapons that we have are contributing.
No, Marcus.
Okay, Tanif will just have to help. Marcus breaking that early is a little weird, but I guess it's not unexpected. Between Tanith and Largo, we'll be fine.
Does Marcia always come down to help too later on if he gets another turn?
Yeah,
Really bad though.
If Marcia has to get involved, I think we'll still be fine, because we have like a turn of buffer here. Let's deal with just making sure this guy gets taken out first. Maybe we should have taken the ranged ones out. We can do some trade shenanigans here. You only have one use of the Est.
Sword time.
Sword. Sure.
I think the warrior might run away.
Yeah, I agree.
Longbow and the other guy's scary though, but you do have racing.
I do have Racing. Is he in range though? Yes, he is. That helps. Improv.
And you thought it was over for you, your flying
Ooh,
friend.
no, that's one use left.
Oh. Okay.
Didn't even kill.
Yeah. I forgot he wasn't low, so as long as he's out of range of Racing, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, I switched because I was like, well, the Est is more reliable, but it did only have one use and he wasn't low HP.
Hey, good guard. Useless guard.
Yeah, I don't think you would have dealt more damage with the any of the other weapons, at least not much more.
Useless attempt, but I'll take it. Okay.
It's faster animation.
Offset by the proc animation. Guard.
Crit. Haven't had one of those in a while. Guard.
Yeah, in practice, I probably didn't need to move Racing because Marcia has no stragglers up above. Sometimes she has to go chase something down up there, but we'll be fine here. We're not going to get extra reinforcements. Normally the chapter would end here, but sometimes you get to do a little bit extra. This guy would run himself through on Ike. Or we just have that sniper left. Who's going to do something funny to Tanith, maybe? Okay, no crit.
She has a sonic sword.
Oh.
So
Oh,
does she kill?
She doubles.
Yes.
nice. Okay, well, no extra turn then. All right, so we're about at like half an hour left of the run if we're doing the Black Knight fight. So that's in not this next chapter, but the chapter after at the very end. All right, so Guard has done its job, but we're gonna have to replace it with something else that we got, Savior.
Savior makes it so that you can pick up someone that you are able to pick up and not take any stat penalties. It is obviously very useful, particularly as the enemies are starting to get stronger, and Marcia has been stagnant for quite a while. Now this map is a large map. There isn't that much terrain, but what we need to do is defeat the boss. So we're going to have Marcia carry Ike over there, and they're kind of going to tag team the area around the boss and finish it off. In order to do some of this, we are, of course, going to be using Racing to refresh Marcia's move speed. And in addition, you can see that Alencia is there. She is force deployed on this map, and she has a warp staff. She can't, she can't warp people very far, but what she's going to do here is position herself in a certain way, rescue Marcia to get her three tiles ahead, and that's actually an important 3 tiles. So now she's going to pick up, after equipping the proper weapon, she's going to pick up Ike and head up to this specific spot.
Yeah, Alencia just happens to be the only late game unit that's able to use the rescue staff. So that's pretty much her use. Just use it out of the box. Don't really get any staffs either, actually, now that I didn't think about it.
Yeah, she is the princess of Crimea that we're escorting to her homeland, but she's insisting that she takes the battlefield, even though she is a lose condition. So
And level 1.
she's promoted.
It's a promoted level 1 at least.
But yeah, she's not the weakest unit ever, but she's not the tankiest for sure.
She does come with a special weapon, so that helps.
You didn't get hit, right? You did not. Well done. Oh, I forgot to move Alencia. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Should be fine.
Now they're getting pretty close to her.
Yeah, but they don't have boots.
They don't have wings. They don't have horses. I guess that's a pretty big disadvantage. So Marcia is no longer using the full guard. Believe it or not, there are no more archers for her to face. But she does have to face some Laguz, so she's using the Laguz guard, which reduces damage by half. And you can see she's still actually taking quite a big chunk.
Yeah, Pegasus Knights are not the tankiest class, that's for sure. And some of these units are really strong, particularly those Laguz Tigers, feral ones.
They're big and strong, but usually offset by being slow.
Let's make sure I drop people in the right spot there, and definitely do not forget to move Valencia this turn.
So now this is Bertram. He is another one of the current 4 riders. And yeah, he's tanky.
Yeah, we used the old Sheeta Steel Lance just to save some uses on our Raphael Silver Lance, because we're not going to defeat him in 2 shots without a crit either way. And if we do get a crit, then it doesn't matter which one we use. So fun fact, I can get focused down here. Lindsay will take 1 hit, but she does not get doubled, so she's okay. Unfortunately, we're going to have to see a renewal animation at the beginning of next turn, but it's a minor time loss. Okay, dodged 1. Yeah, if Ike takes like all the hits, he'll just sadly die and we get to do a redo, but it usually doesn't happen.
All the enemy units moving.
The bishop goes the other way for some reason, doesn't like what he sees, I don't know.
I think it's because he sees someone to heal over this way.
Could be.
The boss, maybe.
But still, going straight left is a little weird.
No rush, just let me know when I can jump in.
This is a good time.
Perfect. So like I said, we did get a bunch of donations in to get that Black Knight fight, and I do want to say thank you for the $30 that we got from Genesic Gunleon, who says, let's fight that knight, as well as the $15 that we got from Windbliss, who says, you know, we should deal with that Black Knight, lest they call the hero a yellow fool and a coward. Oh, wait, that was directed at Arthur, not Ike. Regardless, do the deed!
All right, that's Bertram, so now we just gotta walk it in.
And that was a useful crit. It would have taken 2 attacks otherwise.
Yeah, right.
It was 20 damage, she was fine.
No,
Yeah,
he would have died, yeah. He was dead.
Yeah, he would have died, but it would have taken 2 hits.
No, he had 18 life. That was 20.
Oh, okay. I thought it was reversed.
Fair enough. And here it is, the chapter where we get to fight the Black Knight after this chapter.
Bastion's in. This is new.
One more reposition.
Does he have the tome?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Did a trade.
All the mending was done the last chapter.
Yep.
So this guy has a siege tome, and there's a risk of damage accumulation.
Hey,
so,
corrosion.
in this case, corrosion can be useful.
And it was
Um,
crit.
but
That was a crit, yep. And a corrosion.
So,
so,
crit sound there.
so between corrosion and being fairly likely to kill that guy, Bastion is very useful in preventing too much damage from hitting Marcia and Jeffrey. Because otherwise that guy can attack for a couple different turns, and we don't want him dealing that damage.
'Cause, you know, what are the odds of getting hit by a meteor twice in the exact same spot? Indoors.
It's more than you might think.
Goodbye, Bastion.
Goodbye, Bastion. You're useful.
See you in Radiant Dawn at the very end of the game.
Yeah, he survives this. He just is not a usable unit in Path of Radiance anymore.
It's a flesh wound. Oh, how convenient. The guard just left us post.
And we're not going that way anyway, but he nicely blocks that way from other units.
And if you need a break, let me know.
It's going to be a little chaotic for the rest of the chapter, but I think right now you've got maybe a small opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. We had $30 coming from Mist, who says, Ike, the man who killed father was the knight we saw at Port Toha, right? The one in the black armor?
That's true, Mist. We'll take care of it.
Did we
Don't
see
you worry.
him? I don't know. We didn't see him though.
In cutscenes, we skipped.
No one showed up at the port. We kind of just ran up the boat and left.
Yeah.
So Joffrey stole Astrid's Night Ward, which gives him +2 defense, and he's going to be taking some hits here. Taking out that Bolting Sage earlier really helps his survivability, but if he doesn't dodge anything, that +2 defense really goes a long way. Meanwhile, Marcy is just opening away here. Important that you take that chest key. Alright, Joffrey's gonna go steal his Brave Lance back for just a little bit. And get that chest key.
Yeah, he doesn't have exceptional speed, so it's very useful to let him double enemies that he wouldn't otherwise double.
If anything, just to cut out on animations. Anyway, take that.
Did you get hurt? Yeah, you need to elixir.
It may not heal much health, but because of action economy, now is the best time to do it.
You're gonna have to give Ike a fresh elixir too.
That's a fine?
It's just a thief.
It's a tiger, but it's like 8 damage. I was considering getting a pure water for him, and it hasn't really been necessary in regular runs, and of course now in practice and in here it's becoming possibly relevant. So if it's a redo, so it goes. That tiger rolled low HP, so we saved a Brave Lance use. That's really good. We still have enough Brave Lance uses regardless.
Okay.
It's fine. He's got his own elixir. Yeah, 13 Brave Lance uses are required to like guarantee that we clear everything we need here, but if the tigers will roll low on defense and HP, then we save a few uses. And we'd like to save a few uses because Brave Lance is more reliable for taking out the boss here, who is very scary.
Yeah, it has a lower hit rate, but you get those attacks in one round, so it's
Hey!
more good crit.
Really good crit there. I'd save 2 uses.
Mm-hmm.
And animation.
Gonna put on the Raphael for the fight to start. And make sure to heal Joffrey.
He also has a chest key and is next turn going to be picking up another important scroll. So it's pretty well known that the best way to take out the final boss, the most reliable way, is with Wrath and Resolve. We have Wrath on Ike right now, but he currently has Adept, and we don't have the Resolve scroll.
Nice double dodge.
Yeah.
That means we live even if we like fail with the Brave Lance, which well, I don't want to see. I've been scarred enough.
You got 3 attempts, 4
Yeah.
attempts.
But yeah, so Jeffrey is right there by those chests with a chest key because we need that Resolve scroll. And yeah, we're not going to be able to put it on Ike for the Black Knight fight, obviously, but that's why we have Adept, because it is still a very useful skill that is likely to help win the fight.
All right, animation's on. Because this fight is actually kind of serious sometimes, so hopefully we just finish half it off. You see, the relay is a little shaky there, so hopefully we get everything for the best here.
We're keeping them on for the Black Knight, right?
Although with with 2 RMs, that's like a 90% hit rate, roughly, so...
So what can happen is he can proc Miracle, take only half damage, and then proc Miracle again, take only half damage, and then counter kill Marcia, but it didn't happen this time, so I appreciate that.
Don't forget to turn animations off.
We're going to turn it on for the Black Knight
Oh,
fight,
right. So
and
that
then I'm going to remember to take the extra elixir.
I think he's been holding on to the anti-toxin the entire time.
Yeah, since
Pretty
like
much.
since like chapter 20. All right, we're gonna do a little feature of Nintendo Switch Online called a suspend point. I would recommend you take advantage of it just for this fight because it is kind of nonsense RNG wise.
Even with like maxed out Ike, is still not reliable.
So Ike got the Ragnell, and he pulls it out for this fight.
The 3rd time we've been defeated, I don't remember.
3rd time.
No. Take that.
It's important. Also, it's important.
Ooh,
You see this?
Exactly half.
He deals half damage. So now Ike after one hit is going to be guaranteed in Wrath range. So we're hoping for crits. Adept, we're hoping to give us more chances for crits, but this setup is this way specifically because after Miss leaves, we could still have a chance on player phase.
No crit there.
Unfortunate, but so it goes.
A level, but he won't get HP this time. So that's good.
And Mist is able to hang around to heal Ike for a couple turns, and of course that's useful. Another thing to note, we're attacking at 2 range. That means that the Black Knight cannot use Luna. It also means Ike wouldn't be able to use Aether, but we didn't assign that skill anyway. We did the Adept Wrath combo instead. Now, Ike's crit rate is right around 70%, so...
It's a little bit less, but yeah, like...
It is a true 70% too, so...
So now some refresh that show up, and their job is just to chase Mist away, and they can heal the Black Knight. Hopefully you don't see that. It kind of just depends on his HP ranges.
All right, see you, Mist.
But I can heal himself with the elixirs. We've chipped the Black Knight a little bit. We got 3 more turns here. Those bishops are just going to go away. That guy's going to block their exit, but we're not going to try to escape anyway. Like, we're here to fight.
There's also a hard 5-turn limit as well.
There you go.
Hey!
So we still got to get another one. But he's not low enough that the bishop shouldn't heal him just yet, which is good. Yeah, turn 4. Black Knight gets 6 HP every time, so another crit will bring him down to 3, and then he probably would get healed, but we can go for it on turn 5 and look out maybe.
Yeah!
This will do it if we don't miss. There we go.
Yeah.
Beautiful. First try Black Knight fight. That's
Excellent.
good.
It is certainly not guaranteed. I did some quick and dirty calculations. I think it's about a 70% chance to win.
That's consistent with what I was practicing.
Yeah.
I had 11 out of 16 successes. All right, so that's the Black Knight. Thank you all for your donations on that. So now we just have a couple chapters to finish out the game here.
And now Ike has his best sword for a while.
1 to 2 range, +5 crit, and that +5 crit is likely mattered in that fight.
And no durability, so it's always
Yeah.
going to be used. Does it provide defense bonus in this game, or was that Radiant Dawn?
In Radiant Dawn, like all the legendary weapons have a stat that they boost. I'm trying to remember if both Ragnell and Alondite, the Black Knight's weapon, do defense or what. I want to say they do different stats, but I don't remember which off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure Alondite is strength.
Yeah, it sounds right.
So, yeah, it could be speed, it could be skill, it could be defense. I do not remember.
Move Marseille a little too far forward, but it's not going to make a big difference, I think. You
So,
have
yeah.
2 uses on your pure water, then we can use this.
Once again, we're just taking advantage of random holes in trees to be safe.
Yeah, and that pure water is less for damage taken than for the sleep staff.
Somehow I skipped over on deploying Tanith again. This happened in practice as well, and I don't know what I did to manage it. But
It's not a big deal, but like, yeah.
And there's Tabarn, the king of the eagles.
he's going to go sit in the corner because we told him to.
Hawks, but yeah.
Hawks. Yeah, he's
Animations.
pretty strong.
There's only a couple of animations here, so... If the worst of things I forget are turning off animations every now and then, that's a pretty good run for me.
It's something Kirby Master has done multiple times.
And there's only been one reset
this
so
month.
far. One chapter reset it.
Yeah, and that was a very quick one.
We're doing pretty well on time, it looks like, so I'm not too ashamed.
Turn off animations.
Okay, that's not where we stand normally, but it worked out. Okay, you go there. Make sure you guys are as far back as you can be. This should be fine. Probably.
But yeah,
Probably.
like I said earlier, resistance is the main defense against staves along with range. So it's important to up that chance. it's a significant increase for each point in resistance that you get, actually. So,
And sleep status is one of the most annoying ones. You
Yes.
can get.
Yeah, someone falling asleep here would be a reset, because
Yeah.
we need both Ike and Marcia. Marcia to take out the boss, and Ike to seize the point.
so there are a bunch of combats that are happening here. We're actually hoping not for crits, but we might get some. And
At least
then-
not on the dragons. Like,
Yeah, that just means more
Oh,
units
he's
can attack.
so fine.
Oh, yeah.
he'll be fine.
He's not super tanky, but he's tanky enough.
And the 2 Seraph Robes we gave to Marcia throughout the game, like, give her a total of 59 HP, and, you know, there were a couple times that it could have mattered, so we gotten good value out of those.
Yeah, I believe her max in this game is 60, so
Yeah.
very close to that.
Useless Adept. Yeah, I suppose we could have missed, but probably not. So yeah, these guys would be great to keep alive just so that we don't fight any additional things. They are very tanky, so even with an Adapted, they'll stay alive.
Would you count that as useless crit?
That was a useless adept.
Okay.
So,
Happened.
slew.
But yeah,
Okay, and then this guy's not going to survive.
now it's just going to be a few more enemies moving around, attacking Jeffrey, which is fine.
And then I didn't check on what our Brave Lance had, but I think we had enough crits that we should have 2 uses, which is
It was
perfect.
3 left.
Excellent.
2 left because he hit it. Oh, yeah.
So this is Marsha's last combat. If all things go well, at least. The way is now clear for Ike to seize. And
Ready
then-
her land for a buck.
And the next map is the final. So here we are.
At the end game, we're going to confront the villain who orchestrated the war and the invasion, King Ashnerd, the Mad King himself.
Yeah, and we just found out there how the feral ones are made. It is very unpleasant, and that becomes a major point of tension in Radiant Dawn.
Get up a final motivational speech, which we immediately skip.
So when does time end?
Time ends on the save after the final boss.
Yeah, I'll call time when it becomes a thing.
Here's Nacer. He's a dragon. That's about it.
Something's weird with our deployments here, so just figure it out.
That might go back to that undeploy, redeploy of, I think it was Mordecai way back
Goes
when.
Mordecai.
Yeah, I think we're okay here, but I'm just going to make an additional save, and if we have to adjust it, then that's fine. The chance of success here is not guaranteed anyway, so we might be back here.
Pure water, because again, there are sleep staves here. And we do not want Ike to take a nap.
Wait for after the run to do that.
But yeah, this is pretty much your last chance to get 1 or 2 donations in. We're moving a lot of units around to help clear the way for Ike and for Marsha specifically to ferry Ike up to where Ashnard is.
I do have plenty of donos to read when you have time.
Go for it now.
Is it okay for a long one?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Enemy phase, right?
Okay. We had $6 come in from Tempest Mask 1000, who says, the fact that I didn't realize Fire Emblem was, in fact, on the RPG Limit Break schedule must say something about the guy who literally ran a speedrunning panel for this month's Emblem Con. Speaking of, hi Alec K, and a big shout out to the amazing panelists I had along for the ride, as well as the EmblemCom community for being a big reason I got back into this series. This donation is in honor of all of you and to the immortal Alfred's muscles. Best of luck, AKDylie. Go fight for your friends.
Thank you. All right, so we're setting up here to launch Marcia forward as we've done before, but using rescue staff to boost Racing this time. And we just have to keep Alencia a little bit safe. She'll be relatively okay down there. Racing up here, maybe it'll be fine.
It'll depend on how things go with Ashnard.
I would turn animations on, but if we fail and have to do the backups, it would be a long set of animations, so I will spare it unless we get an opportunity to finish it.
So Ashnard does not move on easy mode, and so we're putting Ike 2 away because once again, his abilities function at 2 range, Ashnard's don't. So there we go.
Remember that stance well. So your father taught you swordplay, did he? How very happy that makes me.
Mad King Ashnard, I will cut you down with this blade and end your reign of terror.
You cut me down. Good. If you possess the strength to do so, then so be it. That process is the principle on which my ideal world operates.
What are you talking about? So now he's in Wrath Resolve.
Easy crit.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. So good. More. More, I say. At this time of ascension, it's not enough. Not enough.
And you find out what that means if you play Radiant Dawn. But yeah, we're coming up on time very shortly here.
And time.
Over 5 minutes under estimate. Excellent run.
Excellent.
All right.
But yeah.
That was pretty successful.
Yeah, and I will just quickly mention that that fight is fairly reliable because Ashnard has 0 luck, so that's 0 crit dodge, and Ike's crit chance ends up being a little bit over 70% there. So it's pretty good chance that you one-turn him, but not guaranteed. We do have a backup where we can attack him on turn 2, but that's basically like a second chance thing, and it's slow.
Because you have to go through the entire enemy phase.
So how many crits do we have total?
Let's see, we got 17 useless, 31 useful.
So that's 48
total.
$48 to Nami.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that. All right, I'd like to shout out my couch for helping me just be able to concentrate on the turns while they explain the game. I want to give a big shout out to KirbyMaster, who's been very supportive and encouraged me to submit the Black Knight incentive. So again, big shout out for getting to show that off. Thanks all for your donations there. Shout outs to other people in the Fire Emblem speedrunning community. Gwimpage, Cheeky, Don wrote the English route that I mostly follow. But yeah, big shout outs to other parts of the Fire Emblem community, including modding, which helped me practice this. The animations in this game are a little slow sometimes, and there's a new mod in development that just cuts those out entirely, so that helped do some reps. And then just generally anyone who's a part of the Fire Emblem fandom, I really appreciate you. I know a few of you donated during the run. I didn't get to shout you all out individually, but I really appreciate your support. Shout outs for all of you guys.
Yeah, shout outs to KirbyMaster for starting running Fire Emblem way back in the day, and that got me involved in the commentary. Shout outs to Vcon and Gwimpage and all the other old runners back then, Molotov, etc. And shout outs to Intelligent Systems for making some games that I really enjoy.
I don't got any extra things to shout out.
Mostly the same as I like KirbyMaster for being one of the prominent speedrunners, allowing me on his couch back then as well. Page Joe speedrunners, and thanks again, AKDylie, for having us on the couch.
Yep, big shout outs to the staff volunteers of RPG Limit Break. It's been a great event. Keep on killing it.
All right, everyone, thank you so much. That was a fantastic run. Once again, thank you so much, AKDylie. And we will be back in a bit, but in the meantime, take a little bit of a break. We're going to throw to a short intermission, and we will see you shortly. All right, folks, welcome back. We have Ys coming up. If you want to see Ys' memoir, The Oath of Felghana, we have that as our next run, and it has open incentives. So you can choose the voice acting language as well as the soundtrack. We have both of those. They're both very snipeable still, so get those donations in if you want to help choose which one of those we're doing. Also, keep in mind we have the donation prizes as well. So donate, look at those prizes, pick the total you want to donate towards, maybe a little bit extra because it does go to NAMI. It's a fantastic cause. In the meantime, I do want to say thank you to some of those donations that came in. We had $10 that came in from Grandra. Thank you so much, Grandra. And if you're wondering what we are watching, this is RPG Limit Break 2026, proudly supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness. To get involved in the fight against the negative stigma around mental illness, please reach out to NAMI via their state-level organizations on Facebook, where they can be found as NAMI, or on Instagram and X as @NAMICommunicate. Remember, it's not a weakness to need help. Please reach out if you feel like you need it. We also had $25 come in from Dogi, who says, I love breaking fourth walls. Donate to NAMI. We also had several $1 donations come in. Thank you so much to the anonymous donors who sent those in, as well as a $25 donation that came in from Chris J. Thank you so much, Chris J. Again, everyone, this is all going to a fantastic cause. Lots of love to NAMI for all they do. Again, folks, we do have the open incentives for both the soundtrack and the voice acting language. Those bid wars are very, very snipeable. Also want to send some shout outs to the people involved with our foreign language restreams. Our French restream can be found at twitch.tv/lefrenchrestream and our Japanese restream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. If those restreams can help you better enjoy this marathon, go check them out and send them some love. And an artist that deserves a special thanks is the one that worked on our overlays, Woru, who can be found on Twitter at Woruluen, so at Ourolen.